going to begin talking about vaults, the two-handed vault, and more specifically the two-handed safety vault, as that will be the primary progressions we're doing right now. Anytime I say safety with a vault name, all I'm going to be suggesting is that you put your foot on top of the railing or the wall during the technique to create this kind of secure perch where you can check what's on the other side. You can check what's on the other side, see if it's safe. If it is, you continue the technique. If it isn't, you come back. I say this because there have been a couple situations where friends have nearly decided to vault over something and decided wisely to do a safety vault because they didn't know what it was, and it turns out there was either a 2 or 3 story drop into a parking structure. So they saved themselves at least broken legs. So this is why I'm emphasizing this is the first technique we cover and why you should always use a safety vault unless you know exactly what's on the other side. With that in mind, let's get started with the progressions. Okay, for progression 1 of the two-handed safety vault, we're just going to be basically taking a harder version of the mantle technique we did earlier, because now we have a rail, which means we're going to have both more of a balance challenge, just inherently, and we're also going to be a little more precise where we put our feet in order to be stable as we progress into the further techniques. Now, real quick, I'll show the full technique, but this angle doesn't give you a very good sense of what I'm doing with my hips or with my feet, so I'll show those after. With that in mind, technique is just going to be get into the mantle, 1 foot on top, you clear that central hand, pick your leg up, touch it on top, come back down. It's pretty challenging to maintain balance there, especially with one hand on, so don't worry about trying to stay there, just tap on top, come back down with control. So up here, central hand, pick your foot through, like that. One more time. Being sure to work both sides. That one's slick. Okay. Foot placement. Ball of the foot just before the toes, maybe a little bit towards the arch, but not too much, and you should be good on balance. If you go too far into the arch, when you actually press up, you're going to find yourself shifting out to the side, which is not really, can't really see from this angle, but it makes it harder to balance. And if you're on your heel, especially barefoot, you're either going to slip and go beyond, which I did earlier. And that's what happens when you use your heel. Or you're just gonna have a lot more trouble pressing up and going straight up instead of to the side again. So one last time looking at all 3. Good, ball of the foot like this, toes pointing forwards. Okay, ball of the foot, toes pointing out a bit, it's a little hard to balance. Bad, arch, all of your toes are pointing forward, it might be okay. And then finally heel, where you either have cleared the bar too much and you're just going to slip over and land on your groin, or something worse, or you're just going to press to the side instead of straight. So, okay, here's how you actually clear your knee over the bar doing the two-hand safety vault and a lot of other techniques. So getting into this position with 1 foot on the rail, 1 hand on the rail, you're going to first push your leg that's on top of the rail up, almost like you're trying to stand out of it. You see how it raises my other foot up by just pushing? Second, at the same time, you're going to push your hips backwards and kind of up at the same time. So combining the two, it's going to be pushing out of the leg, pushing the hips back. This creates this big space here where I can actually pick my knee up and through very easily, like that. In comparison, if I just did it from this hanging position here with my hips pretty close to the rail, I would just get my knee caught and I would fall down. So again, push out of the leg, push the hips back. Once you're high enough, you can either put your foot on top, put your foot over and go across, or if you're being mean to yourself like me, you do the drill I'm doing, which is a little ridiculous.